What's up? All right, so sorry I'm not here again. I am really bumming not getting to be here with you. I do want to tell you this. I got word that the sub peed her pants yesterday. That you were so amazing. So, no, seriously though, she said that she was so sick of teaching and yesterday with you, you changed her world, and she just loved and said you were fabulous, and it was just impressive, and it blew her away. So, good job. That is incredible. It makes me very proud of you, and you should feel really special that you pulled that off. Also, she mentioned that someone actually apologized to her for either someone else or for themselves about being disrespectful in some way. So, I don't know the details. I don't really care to know the details. I'm a little curious at what happened, I guess. But either way, she was still impressed that someone even had that level 6 character to apologize. So, keep being impressive and do an amazing job today. Okay, so here we go. So here's what the day is going to look like. You already should have your daily CCR, the pinky paper, and the paper ruler at your seat right now. Those are all over right here where you normally grab your daily CCR. So just keep all those together. You're going to start off today with the tile puzzle. I'll show that in a moment, and then you can pause and go ahead and do that. That's also the moment where I'm going to have Quinn and Sydney set the timer for 4 minutes on that, and then let people know, okay, our 4 minutes is up, close your iPads, and move on to daily CCR for 5 minutes if you hadn't already. If you want to take a screenshot of this and email it to me, I'd love to see what you created if you know how to do that. And then work on your daily CCR for 5 minutes. Quinn and Sydney can set the timer again and let you know when that's done. After that, you're going to go ahead and pull out your homework, so slip everything else aside. Pull out homework, do a homework check with your partner. Please be honest. If you didn't do something, then put $5 in the jar. Okay, maybe not 10, I'll let that slide, but at least put $5 if you didn't do it, and please make sure it's done before you do free time stuff later today. And then let's set the timer for 3 minutes on that, and then you'll recycle it. And then head over, 10 people sharing ordered pairs, just like yesterday. As soon as you get back from that, you'll continue this video. I will just briefly go over your homework today, but then I'm going to have you start the pinky activity. While you're waiting in things during this, you can be working on the homework. After both of these are done, then you'll do extra math, not optional for the multiplication people, and then jump into ST math to finish off the day. So that's it. Let's go ahead and officially get started. So I'll introduce the puzzle so that you can see that and pause things. Quinn and Sydney, then you'll be able to set the timer. So here is the puzzle today. So it says, I am a rectangle. My area is 24 square units. My border is entirely yellow. My inside is 1/4 blue and 6/8 red. But what's weird is there's 24 total, so you're going to have to figure all that out. My total number of blue and red is 1/3 of the total number of squares. Again, they're just letting you know that, but you don't need that to solve it. Start off with 24 squares of one color, and then you can start changing the insides to make this work. List my perimeter, dimensions, and the number of each color tile needed for the rectangle. If you don't know what I expect for that, then look at yesterday's email and see what I mean with that. Moment, let's look at the daily CCR so you're ready to go with this. Write the rule, is it going up or down? Again, like yesterday, the 2/10 of the bananas. So you need to notice of means multiplication, and you should be wondering how many bananas there are if we need to find 2/10 of. So let's just see though, how many bananas are right? Yep, we do need to know that. in a box of 30 bananas. So 2/10 of the 30 bananas. So you need to be setting it up like this, and then choose option 1 or 2 to solve. Okay? Down here, add the 3 fractions. You can see the denominators are not the same, so you better make them the same and show the work that you did to do that. You have a little 2-step problem here. So a crew starts work at 6:30. Think about what that means. If you write it before I say it, then you're in a good place and you know what you're talking about. 6:30. And finished at 11:30. If you write it before I say it, then you're pretty awesome. 11:30. All right. How many hours and minutes did they work? So you should be setting up start, elapsed, and end, and create your mixed number fractions. And remember, it's out of 60 for 60 minutes. After you get that information, it says if they paved 200 feet per hour, if you remember what that means, how many feet did they pave that day? So you're going to have to do some problem solving with that. You have a little regrouping subtraction here, and then decomposing this fraction in 2 ways. All right, so that's your daily CCR. So at this point, go ahead and pause on this screen, and we'll set the timer, and you can do this and daily CCR, and then I will see you after you get done with word wall. Okay, so here you go. All right, now that you are back from word wall, let me do a quick preview of this, and then we'll get into the Pinky activity. So I'm just going to preview your homework that's attached to your daily CCR. So for your homework today, you are going to be taking data and putting it onto a line plot and answering questions. But you're going to have to do a lot of equivalent fraction work because these are all in 8ths and these are not all in 8ths. So I don't expect to see all the work on this one. You can just change it if you know what it would be mentally, or you can do work on the side. So I know 1/2. I just already know that 1/2 is 4/8. So I could either ignore that and put my X down here and cross off 1/2, or I could actually rewrite it next to it. Don't forget about this one here, 3/8. So as you go, cross it out and put your X down in the line plot, okay? And then 1/4, well, 1/4 isn't down here, so I need to make 8, so I know to multiply by 2/2, or I could do it mentally, and I know I would get 2/8. Okay, so I'm gonna put it down there and cross it off. So this is your process to go through this. You're going to do the same type of thing for lengths of ribbons, and then you have questions, and they want you to look at problem 1 to answer the questions for this one. They want you to look at problem 2 to answer these questions. Okay? All right, so you can see things like, what are the total number of sandwiches? A sandwich is an X. So this is where you're literally counting the X's, or you could count the sandwiches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So remember, each piece of data, each X is a sandwich. So you'll go through and you'll answer those questions. The total amount of meat that have 1/2 pound of meat is. So anything with exactly 1/2 pound, you will add up how much meat they used. So 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, however many X's there are. So just really try to interpret what the question is actually asking, and then tomorrow we'll go over all of those types of questions. Just be careful. They can be tricky if you don't pay attention to them. And then same thing, you're going to put this data onto the line plot. This line plot is already made, and so you're just answering some questions. And then number 12, they have a line plot, and it says write a real world problem about miles. So these are quarter miles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, half miles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4 miles, and 2 whole miles. They just want you to write some random little story. So, for example, I was driving my moped and I did a whole bunch of miles each day. 4 days, I did a 1/4 mile. On 3 days, I did 2/4 of a mile. So it just makes up some random story that uses that kind of data about miles. Okay. All right. So that's that. Let's go ahead and set that aside for now, and you can work on that later. And go to your ruler and your pinky page. Tomorrow we are going to go to a younger grade classroom. So today is all about pretending that we are doing that. Okay. So we're going to model what to do, but you're going to do it with our class in here. Anytime you're waiting, go back and be working on these pages here while you have downtime. Okay. And then when you're able to continue this, you go back to it. I need you to save this in your important side for tomorrow, so the next day we can flip it over and collect data on the other side. Okay? All right, good luck. Be amazing. Follow directions. You don't really need to talk for this, so sit quiet, do what you're supposed to do. Okay? Awesome. Peace out. So you just finished word wall and are now on to the pinky fractions activity. So here's how this works. I want you to follow along on here and write what I write until a certain point. So I'll let you know as we go. So choose a grade. We're simulating what we're going to do tomorrow. So today we're going to measure 4th grade. And we are going to practice doing this with ourselves. And then tomorrow we will measure a younger grade, like 1st grade or kindergarten. So I'd like you to put what block you are in with me, block 1 or 2. So go ahead and do that. Directions: measure from the base of the pinky and ring finger to the tip of the pinky. So we're going to measure from right here to right here. Okay. So when you do this, you'll need your paper ruler, and you can do this right now with me because we're going to go ahead and collect the data, and you're going to be putting the ruler in between your ring finger and pinky like this. Now, when you do it with a kid, you're going to want to say, talk really nice and sweet and say, okay, close your fingers like this. Okay, open up your pinky, and then you're going to take it and slip it in like this until it hits the base there, and then tell them, okay, close your fingers together. So make sure you're doing it so that the pinky is on the fractional side, not this way where your ring finger is on the fractional side. So you want to put it in like this, close your finger, and then you'll notice that it automatically puts it where it needs to go. So you pinch your finger, you're going to take your pencil, and you can do this yourself or you can have a neighbor do it, and you're going to put a little mark, just a little mark right where your pinky stops. At that point, you can release your pinky and you can see your data. Okay, so pause if you need, but go ahead and do this part now and then unpause. All right, so once you have your tick mark on here, let's see what it says next. Make a mark on the paper ruler and record the student's name. Okay, so I'm going to record right here, Hutch. Okay, so go ahead and record your name, Y-O-U-R space. Just kidding, don't do that. That would be, well, I won't say. You know what that is. All right. All right, go ahead and put your name and then the gender, and gender means boy or girl. I am a boy. If you are a girl, then you put a G on the ruler, so name and gender. And then you would continue this with the entire class of students. But we're just going to do our own today, and you'll just do one student tomorrow. So we have our name, and we have what gender you are. So continue this with the entire class. Bring the rulers back to class and record each length to the nearest 1/4 inch. So let's take a look. These rulers are pretty basic, so they're only in 1/4 inch measurements. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces in the denominator. So it says to the nearest. So if you look closely at this, it's at 1 hole, 2 hole, and extra. So you can see it's not quite at 2 1/2, but it's not right at 2 1/4 either. If this is the halfway and we're thinking about rounding, I'm closer to 2 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and write my measurement and write 2 1/2 and make sure you put IN for your units. If it is exactly in the middle, think about rounding and we would round up. Okay, so this accuracy is really important. So this is what you should have for your finger, your pinky right now. All right, let's see what's next. Bring the rulers back to class. So we would do that, and we recorded to the nearest 1/4 inch in the blank space below. So we're going to go ahead and record our data down in here. So you can either wait on this or at least just put yours in for right now. So let's take a look at what you're going to be doing as far as recording your data. As soon as you have this, what I want you to do now is you're going to go to the front of the room and let's take a look up there. I think I went too far. There it is. Okay. All right, so once you have your data, I had 2 1/2 inches. You're going to come up here and you're going to go to your section, block 1 or block 2. You're going to reach into this bucket. If you are a girl, grab the purple. If you are a boy, grab the blue. I am a boy, so I'm grabbing blue. You're going to go over to here, block 1 or block 2, and under boy, right here, very neatly, please, I would write 2 1/2 inches. Okay. If you're a girl, you'll grab the purple marker, and right under here, you would write however many inches long your pinky is. Once we have all the data on there, and the last person says that they are done, then you can come up and take a picture with your iPad and bring the data back to your seat. And then 4th row, and just take turns while each row is up here putting the data in. You can start working on page 188 and 189 homework, and then set that aside and come and mark your data, and then you can keep working on that as you're waiting for things. All right, now that all the data is up on the yellow sticky paper, you are going to look at the photo that you took on your iPad and put the data into this space. So you'll just copy it in really neatly. If you want, it's probably easiest to just sort of imagine some lines going down. You might be able to see even some lines through the paper there if you have really good eyes. So you're going to record all your data down. Now, this is the point. Please do not be the kid who starts copying what I'm doing right now. I am going to put fake data on here because I don't know what your pinky lengths are going to be. So I'm going to put some pretend data to show you what to do, and then you're going to need to imitate it with the actual data. Don't be that kid. Don't be that kid who starts copying what I'm writing. Okay, say to yourself, don't copy what he's writing. Don't be that kid. Okay, so some pretend data. So I'm looking at my iPad. I saw 2 inches. I saw 2 1/4 inches. I saw another 2 1/4 inches. I saw a 3-inch finger. That was Jared's. All right. I saw a 2 1/2 inches. I saw a 2 1/2 inches, a 2 1/4 inches, and 2 3/4 inches, and that's enough info for me to prove my point. All right, so here's what you're going to do. Once you have all the kids in our class's data written down, we need to put it into this tally chart or table. So you're going to go ahead and look for your least over here, which is 2 inches, and write that down. And then you want to go through and find out how many boys and girls have 2 inches. So 2-inch pinkies. So just one. And I'm just going to cross it out gently and mark 1 boy. And then next, you can even look at the ruler here. So after 2 inches, we can see is 2 1/4. So we definitely have some of those. So let's record it in. And again, don't be writing this. You're imitating what I'm doing. So here's 1, 2 boys. And you can either put tallies or you can just write a number 2. It's up to you. And girls for 2 1/4, there's 1. Okay. All right, after 2 1/4 on the ruler is 2 1/2, or we know 2 2/4. So I'm going to make it 2 2/4 just to keep it all the same denominator. So here's 1, 2 1/2, or 2 2/4. And that's 1 boy. And then I have 1 girl. And then you continue 2 3/4. And even if you don't have something, you can go ahead and put the next fraction in line and just don't put any tallies. Or for a table, you can skip it. It's up to you. All right, so 2 3/4, I have 1 girl. And then my last bit of data is a 3-inch finger, and that is a boy. And make sure you've crossed out all your data. If not, then you can go back and revise. All right, so now we're going to take this data and whatever data you got from your classroom, and you're going to put it down into this line plot. So your very first thing is creating a title. So you just want to say what each X is and what units. So we're going to write length of pinkies in inches. That way people know, and we don't have to write IN for every single fraction. All right, and then to do a line plot, remember, it's like a ruler. So you have to find the least, which is our 2 inches. And then even if you don't have data, even if I didn't have a 2 1/4, I have to put it in order like a ruler. So I have 2, and then, so just go up to your biggest, 3 inches in increments of 1/4 inch. So 2 1/4, 2 2/4, 2 3/4, and you're going to have to write neat and small. If not, fix it. And then 3 inches, and that's all I need. So I don't even need this space here, so I can be done. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and put my X's in. So 2 inches, I have 1 person, and it's a boy. So what I want you to do now is let's go ahead and stop, and I want you to use one color for boys and sort of show it like that. And then I will use a pencil or a different color for girls. Okay, so right now, pause if you need to get 2 different colors, and we'll represent boys and girls with different colors. All right, so on to 2 1/4. I have 2 boys. Make sure your X's are the same size, and I have 1 girl. Okay, so you can skip forward if you need, if you understand the point of what I'm doing at this point, but you're going to be doing this with your data. And then I would just continue at this point with the rest of my data. Feel free to watch if you want. 2 2/4, 1 boy, 1 girl. 2 3/4, 1 girl. So I'm using the girl color, and 1 boy. Okay, so you're going to create this data. At this point, I need you to put this in your important side because we need the back for tomorrow. So this is going to be first grade or kindergarten. So save this in your important side and then go ahead and you're going to start working on page 188 and 189.